Hello, Brian. Welcome back to Asheville. I don't have a question, but I need some fine-tuning. Our exchange, I have access to you without Esther, but not able to dialogue because my intellectual gets in the way. So I appreciate being able to exchange ideas with you here.
Your intellectual doesn't get in the way. It's that when you're asking a question, you're not in the receiving mode, because the question and the answer are two different frequencies. So ask the question and we'll be in the receiving mode and we'll give you the answer.
It's of course in line with everybody else.
Yeah.
With your help, I've been able to expand my being, and I've been able to allow a lot more abundance and exciting things into my life.
Yes.
And now they're boring. Because I have them. So,
well, don't let them be boring. Focus on them with appreciation and keep yourself active in that feeling of appreciation. That's an important component, isn't it? In other words, they're not boring. But you're right. Once something's manifested, the work's sort of done. So you want to just keep a steady flow of stuff coming out of the vortex. Yeah. So we agree with you that that stuff that's coming out of the vortex, that stuff that's in the state of becoming, is way more interesting than that stuff that's done. Sort of like, there's my sculpture. I did it. Took me about a year. Boring, isn't it? Because it's not in the state of becoming, it's in the state of completion. You're not ever going to be in the state of completion, but that is.
So I have things calling me, but the things that I manifested kind of gives me comfort. So there is a bit fear. And I know consciously that I got to where I was afraid at first. So I know I have a track record of actually being able to be in a receptive mode and unfold big things fast.
Well, do you have to give up the comfort of where you are in order to have more?
No, that's why I'm here.
Well, you don't, do you? That's an irrational thought, because the culmination is you and your vibrational atmosphere, and you know too much to ever allow that to diminish. And so knowing all that you know, isn't it just logical that more and more that you want is going to turn from the vapors into the reality that you want? You do know that. We can feel that you know that. So what are you talking about?
Well, that's what I was hoping you can help me clarify. What is it that I'm talking about?
Well, let's see if we can sort it out. So you understand that the improvements of your life have all been part of this process, and you acknowledge that there have been many improvements. You just stated that here, and now they bore you a little bit because been there, done that. And so are you concerned about having to give something up to get something more? That isn't logical. We're not feeling that in you. Are you concerned about not measuring up to someone else's standards? That's not logical. We don't feel that in you. Are you feeling uncomfortable that your vortex is full of things that you hear us talk about? You're not finding the receptive mode of them. Is what's making you uncomfortable that you're not feeling those ideas, that you don't feel alive with those ideas? That's what's bothering you. And the reason that you're not feeling alive with those ideas is because you're like most people, you're functioning in life rather than getting into the receptive mode. Do you meditate every day?
I do.
And when you meditate, do you quiet your mind?
Yes.
And is it a refreshing experience for you? Do you come out of it feeling refreshed?
To the degree where I can quiet my mind.
Do you spend time outside?
Yes.
Do you enjoy the reverie of magnificent views and mountains? In other words, do you get out where things really please you?
Sometimes I do. Well, I'm in nature and I love it when I'm tuned in.
But this is really what we're asking you, and we're going to put it to you bluntly and succinctly. How much of your behavior is pointed toward pleasing and soothing yourself in relationship to serving others? Because that's where the balance gets wonky for most of you. Most of you are so busy serving others that you're not taking that time for your own alignment.
Yeah, that was the question I wrote, is, how to be authentically selfish versus serving others? Or
Well, sometimes it takes an awareness of where you are. Sometimes you just have to acknowledge that this isn't working out that well for me, and maybe I want to change some of my behavior. Maybe I want to put more emphasis on my own alignment and a little less emphasis on trying to be the path of least resistance for everyone else. And that's what we feel for you. You're an uplifter to the core of your being and a teacher, but you just got to tune in. We asked you earlier, how do you do it? Do you meditate? Do you quiet your mind? Does music turn you inside out? Are some songs better than others? Does it please you when you're outside? Do you like to breathe deeply? What hooks you up? What connects you? What thrills you? Esther sat on an airplane with a man. She had not met him before. And he was from Alabama and a football fan of a particular college team. And as Esther listened to him, as he talked about his family and his wife and his sons and his life, she had thrill bumps running through her over and over and over again as she just relaxed into his love of his life. And that time was more valuable even than meditation, because what she was focusing on gave her continual feedback of the harmony between her thoughts and the thoughts of her inner being in the same moment. Settle for nothing less than the thrill of being on the same page with your inner being. And yes, meditation will keep you from not being on the same page, but appreciation, once you've accomplished that alignment, then going to appreciation really allows that momentum to continue to go. Just decide that you are going to accomplish, we can say that better, that you are accomplishing the mastery of being in the receptive mode. Just accept that and let all of your efforts, we don't even like that word very much, but all of your intentions and focus go toward that end result, which is the beginning of so much more. If someone says to you, what are your plans for today? And you haven't already accomplished the receptive mode where you know it because of the stream of things that have already been happening, say to them, my plan is to selfishly please myself into ecstasy. And very few of them will dare go further. And then do that. Do whatever that means to you. Get there and know it. Feel the exhilaration of that alignment. And then anything else that you feel like doing, anything that you're inspired to after that. This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment. And are you refreshed? Good. Now what?
I had all these questions, and then you answered them, and I got really happy. And I guess I can say stuff.
So why did you raise your hand just now?
I mean, I have things to say. I can say things. Okay, here we go. It was more to have fun. I was raising out of fun.
Have you had enough fun?
Yeah, I've had a great time.
All right.
Well, I got something to say. Okay, sorry. Okay. So I guess one thing that I was going to say is, like, when I was 15, I cut myself and I went deaf in my left ear. And sometimes I feel like it's like holding me back from feeling really great because I want to hear out of my left ear again. It feels kind of like this like constant negativity, but only when I focus on it, I guess. So I guess the answer is to not focus on it.
Well, you're making a good point because you're talking about something that is sort of always present. But if you can, here's the thing we really want you to hear. If you can get good at focusing around that, you can get good at focusing around anything. And that experience, which seems like a disadvantage, can turn into the greatest advantage of your experience, because focusing is everything.
Yeah, okay, that was a great